Hi everybody, how's it going today? In this one I'm just going to show you what I picked up in the photography world. I'm trying out a new camera system here. I've been with Nikon for a long time. I shot some Mamiya medium format back in the film days. I shot some 4x5 view camera back in the film days. But since film, I've been, and I shot Nikon during the film days too. Since film, I've been shooting Nikon digital ever since. So I've been through the D70, the D200, the D300, I don't even remember them all. It's after the D300. Full frame, well, the D800, and then the D810 and the D850. So a lot of camera bodies, a lot of time, but it's a big system. I'm actually making these videos out of order. I have another video I just made of all my big system before this one showed up. So that'll be coming out soon, but it'll sound a little backwards. Anyway, so the Fuji system looks really interesting to me. It's in the interest of going smaller and lighter, because this table, I filled this table with gear with my Nikon stuff. And when I go to shoot, I always have to decide, oh, well, what can I bring with me? Can I bring, do I bring these two lenses or in this body, or do I bring these two smaller lenses and one big lens? Like, it's always like, what can I take with me? And I usually end up bringing just two lenses, usually a slightly wide and a slight telephoto. But with the Fuji system, since it's the Fuji X system here, it's a lot smaller. I figure I can bring a lot more with me. I can bring 3 lenses instead of 2 all the time in a small bag. I'm trying to travel light here. If I was shooting a wedding, I might bring 3 to 5 lenses and a couple flashes and a couple bodies, but still, for a wedding kit, that's still a small bag. Bag I got a while ago, I was carrying around all these huge bags for the full frame digital, and I have 2 herniated discs in my back, and I was standing there at a popular wedding spot to shoot pictures on this lake, very nice setting. And you're rotating through with other photographers, and there was another photographer. I'm standing there with my giant commercial AW bag from Lowepro, made for like medium format equipment. And I'm standing there dripping sweat, carrying my tripod. I have to make a couple trips to the car, grab my camera and tripod, go back for my big bag and back, and I'm running back and forth to the car to get all my stuff. I'm dripping sweat, standing there in a black suit on a hot July day. I look over, there's a guy holding a monopod. I think he had his pinky out. He's holding a carbon fiber monopod with one zoom lens, just like a normal zoom. And it was probably the kit zoom too. It was probably an f4 or something like that, because it wasn't the heavy 2.8 lens. And he's walking around going, okay, everybody over here. And he's walking with this little monopod like he didn't have a care in the world. And I said, man, I am doing something wrong. He had a flash mounted to the camera. He didn't have the big custom brackets flash set up over the head with, overhead with the remote triggered flashes or anything. It was just a super light setup, and I'm like, man, I can take those principles and go, I want to shoot weddings, but I want to be a lot less, I want to be a lot more unencumbered, let's say. Anyway, it's a long story for nothing. That led me to the thought of this system here. So this is a bag I bought a while ago, a little Billingham Hadley Pro, to carry my full frame system. That would be like one full frame camera body with the Kirk Enterprises or the Really Right Stuff plate on it. I think I have the Kirk plate on it now. And then 2 lenses. I can fit 2 lenses in there. And it's a tight fit in that bag. But I didn't want to carry anything more, and that's when I travel, when I go out of town, that's what I carry. So I get an all-purpose zoom lens, and then usually a good prime. And anyway, the Fuji system is going to change that, I think. So the camera this is the new X-T3, just got it a couple days ago. I ordered this before it was out, so they shipped it the first day it was available. It's super light. The lenses are adorable. These things are tiny. This is a 35 millimeter, which is equivalent to the normal lens. You know, 50. I think it's 53 millimeter, and it's an f2. I always say all these new primes that are coming out with full frame are f1.4 lenses, or even faster. Canon's got some f1.2s. Some of the other companies have f1.2s. And I'm like, I don't need wide-angle f1.2 or f1.4 lenses. They're just tanks. They're so big and heavy, you know. The lens I actually, up till now, I've used most is the Sigma. I've got a bunch of lenses, but the Sigma 35mm 1.4. Great lens, super sharp, optically incredible. But it's heavy, and so is the camera I put it on. So this is that equivalent. It's kind of amazing. Actually, equivalent. This is a normal lens, but you get the idea. The normal lens I use is the Milvis f1.4. Awesome optics and everything, but it's got to be 6 times as heavy as this lens. So I'm trying a new system, and the grip was, you know, you get a discount when you get the grip with the body, so you get $130 off the grip, so it's only $200. So it's like, okay, I gotta do that. The other issue is when I'm shooting people pictures, high school seniors and couples, like engagement sessions and stuff. I don't need all that resolution. You know, a D850 is 45 megapixels, and it's so much resolution. I don't need to touch up every hair, every pore, and everything like that. So I got this is 26 megapixels. I think that's going to be a lot more favorable, a lot quicker in the retouching aspects. Plus, you have all that resolution. If you don't nail the focus perfectly, you're throwing away like 20 megapixels. You know, if your focus is like on the end of the nose and not the eye, that's like 20 megapixels of resolution lost. It's a lot. Big difference. I just shot a toddler 2-year photo shoot, and my first time shooting a toddler. I don't shoot kids very much or ever, so that was my first. And they move a lot, right? And I'm shooting with the Zeiss Milvis 135mm f2. Like, this is the best portrait lens on the planet. The chromatic aberration is non-existent, distortion is non-existent, color rendition is amazing. Everything is great on this lens, except when your toddler moves, or when you don't have enough time to set up a tripod and really critically focus on your toddler because they're going crazy and they need to get out of the scene. They don't even want to be there. So the hit rate wasn't as high as I would like. The ones I did get came out great. I'll pop one up on the screen here too. But I thought to myself, you know, I could be here with my 105 VR macro lens and have a more successful photo shoot, because it's autofocus, it's VR, so I wouldn't need to set up the tripod for every shot, and I could go handheld. I'd be working fast. The parents wouldn't even know, right? It would be sharp. They'd be fine. You know, they wouldn't know the difference when you're delivering the product, that it's not the absolute finest image quality. So that's where this comes in. I know the image quality is different. It's not as high a resolution, but how many people are printing 60-inch portraits anyway, you know? So 26 megapixels, 4K video, which is really cool. So this video I'm shooting in 1080p on the Nikon D810. from now on when I'm shooting video with this, they're going to be in 4K, and we're going to see how that works out. So hopefully the video quality will jump up pretty soon. So I got the body. Try to just ramble on here, but I got the grip, the vertical grip. Just because I hear the battery life on these, I haven't used mirrorless before, but the battery life is pretty slow, or pretty low. It burns up quick because of the OLED, EVF in there. F2 is perfect. That's plenty of aperture for me. When I want to go light, when I want to go out of town, do some street photography, some food, some artsy stuff, I can just take off the vertical grip. But for people photography, I did find the grip right off the bat. The grip was really small, and I'm like, oh gosh, this camera's so small. My fingers are gonna cramp. But I'm glad that the vertical grip came with this grip extension up here, because once you put that on, that's a nice handhold, like what I'm used to with a full frame body. But they say, oh, there's no added functionality now because boost mode is in the camera, and there's no added functionality to the grip except batteries. Well, there is added functionality. You've got vertical controls. See, you've got a shutter release. You've got your autofocus locks, your joystick back here, and you've got data wheels on the front and back, and you've got a vertical grip that has a little thumb extension here, so it doesn't fall out of your hand. So if you shoot fashion or portraits, this is going to be a great option, I think. Now I started shooting with, not to get too long-winded here, but I started shooting with a couple lenses, just test shots, handheld. I don't have the camera plate for this yet for my tripod, so going handheld, shooting some test shots, and so far, right off the bat, the 23 wide open is pretty soft. It's pretty soft close up, it's pretty soft far away, wide open. So and it also came with a couple little dust chunks behind the rear element, so it came that way. So this one's going back. I'm not sure if I'm going to replace it with another 23. I'm probably going to end up getting the 16 to 50 millimeter f2.8 zoom, because from what I hear, that zoom is sharper than a lot of the primes, and it'll cover the whole range. So if I'm shooting professionally, family shots, groups, stuff like that, I'll bring that lens and just use it and be happy. When I'm trying to travel light and do some street stuff, some stuff for fun, just have a lens, single lens with me and play around. I'm probably going to bring this 35 millimeter f2. It's just super light. I'll take the grip off the body. Just be a nice compact camera to travel with, and shoot Cartier-Bresson style. 50 millimeter. That was reportedly his favorite focal length. Some people think that's the only lens he ever used, but that'll work good. I know focal length, and it's not technically a 50 millimeter, but it's got that field of view. So that's the 35 millimeter. Now the 56 1.2, from what I can tell, this is sort of a must-have portrait lens. Lets in a lot of light. It's an APS-C size sensor, so smaller sensor, and the last time I shot that was the D300, which was 12 megapixels. So this is 26 megapixels. I expect quite a bit more resolution out of it. But the 56 1.2 should have a really nice background blur, subject isolation. Everybody raves about this lens. They say it's a must-have lens. Now, I got this lens, and it has it's got like a metal chunk in the middle of the optical path. It's like a little bigger than a piece of glitter. So I just got this yesterday. So it's in there, but so this one has to go back. This one, I'm almost positive I'll be getting another one. So I'm going to keep the 35, I'm going to keep the 56. I'm not sure about the 23. I might just replace it with that 16 to 50 millimeter 2.8 lens, because I think that that lens is probably going to be sharper than this lens. This is just a nice compact prime, so we'll see. But I got to get another one of these because, you know, I don't want stuff in the lens when I get it. I've got a lot of lenses over the years. I mean, a lot of lenses, and I've only sent one back so far for stuff in the lens, so dust and things. I got 2 in the same shipment, so I don't know. A little suspect, but hopefully it was just a fluke and whatever, and it'll all be good. So anyway, sorry to ramble on. I'll be talking more about this as time goes on and showing you some more stuff that it does as I get used to the menu systems and everything. I like all these manual controls on top. That's pretty cool, and I like that it's pretty small and light. So I'm excited to get going using on it and seeing what this mirrorless thing is all about. So, alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.